Hello everyone and welcome to Deep Vale University, a haunted PS1 Summer Shivers Game Jam game. What the hell is this? Phew, made it. You look around the classroom, empty if not for the couple of seats currently occupied by your fellow students. Looking at the clock, you notice it is still a few minutes before the class block starts. Huh, guess I should grab a seat. Let's sit in the back. Charm decreased. You take a seat in the back of your class and dig through your bag, preparing yourself for class to begin. Soon there is a torrent of students flooding the halls beyond the classroom's doors, until at last people shuffle into your room and each seat is occupied. You're reading through your notes when something crosses the line of sight. You quickly look up and see something standing at the front of class. Huh? Is that a school mascot or something? That's better. Welcome everyone. My name is Professor Typhon. Not Doctor, not Mr. Professor Typhon. Please address me as such. Professor, huh? Are they wearing a costume or something? Now, who could tell me what class this is? You there, do you know what class this is? This is Sociology 100, right? No, it is not. But it is Biology 108, more well known as organisms in their environment. Oh shit, wrong class. Well then, there's always one, isn't there? Poor guy. Now, who can tell me what we will be studying in this class? Anybody? Anyone read the syllabus? Raise hand. You there, yes, use the glasses. Oh, well, it's, well, you can stop. Okay, but, you there, you may have a more eloquent answer for us. Well, to be exact, this is a study of reciprocal nature between how environments and organisms, and how organisms shape new environments. Furthermore, we'll be looking at how evolution has shaped different classifications of organisms. That's beyond correct. Thank you. What is your name? My name is Mina, Professor Typhoon. Thank you, Mina. Wait, what the? Is she? No, it must be imaginary. Professor Typhon went over the curriculum and syllabus for the rest of the class. Look at the time. That concludes our class. I will see you all again on Wednesday. One class down. Hey there. Oh, hello. I'm Annabelle. I saw you sitting there all by yourself. What's your name? I'm Sam. What a wonderful name. Would you like to join me for lunch, Sam? Go to lunch with Annabelle. Relation with Annabelle increased. Wonderful. You enter the university's cafeteria space. Scattered around numerous tables are students of all shapes and sizes. A lot of people that look like they are in costumes, just like Professor Typhon. You follow Annabelle until she stops at an empty table and drops her bag. Here we are. The two of you sit down. Annabelle places a lunchbox on the table and opens it before looking back up to you. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you aren't much of a talker, so why did you choose Deep Vale? Well, they offered me a full scholarship. How could I refuse? Oh, you're one of those, huh? One of the full riders. There are a few in the building. Usually the school picks up a few students each year to give a full scholarship. So there are other people here like I am? Yep, it's actually really lucky. I was hoping to run into one of you. Can I ask you something? Of course. Does Professor Typhon always dress that way? Huh? Oh yeah, he's pretty business casual, huh? Business casual? Yep, he's pretty hot, right? Sure, whatever you say. Is that business casual? And how does she find that hot? Different strokes, I guess. Hey Sam, a few friends and I are hosting a little first day party. Would you like to come and join us? Go to party. Cool, here's the address. Can't wait to see you there. Relationship with Annabelle increased. Well, that's enough of that. What would you like to talk about? Does Professor Typhon or the costume? What's up with Mina? That's all for now. Let's ask this professor. A costume? I wouldn't call it a costume. He looks like he usually does. Well, enough of that. What would you like to talk about? Oh, her? My friends know her. Apparently she's a real brainiac, huh? Well, enough of that. What would you like to talk about? Sounds like a plan. I'll see you next class, Sam. Annabelle packs up her thing and leave. You finish off your lunch and head to your next class. I think this is the right place. You know, I'm going to save. I think this is the right place. You spent nearly an hour looking for this place due to this distance from the campus. Last you arrived at Annabelle's party. Cheering and singing can be heard from within, though there don't seem to be more than perhaps a dozen voices. Just before you can knock on the door, it swings open. Sam, you made it. Come on in. You enter the residence and glance around. Most of the party has congregated away from the instrument, but they are clearly audible. You can't distinguish the sounds of drunk tomfoolery from people chanting something you can't recognize. But before you even take off Janet, Annabelle puts a hand on your shoulder. Alright everyone, our guest of honor has officially arrived. For a brief moment, the sound of cheering drowns out any other noise. Guest of honor? Well, of course, you're a full rider after all. Oh, okay. You're going to love it. Come on, I'll show you where the special event is happening. Special event? Annabelle leads you toward a plain white door that descends into darkness. She flips the switch and a flickering light is visible below. Before you have a chance to say anything, she is leading you down the stairs by your shoulder. You can swear things feel a bit off, and when the lights flicker, you swear the basement is made of an ancient stone brick. When the light turns, everything is normal. She leads you down a hallway before stopping. Oh boy. Why so far from everyone? Everyone will be joining us soon, you'll see. Oh, I forgot something. Mind waiting down here for me? Okay, I guess. I'm getting a really weird vibe here. Just... Oh my god, why are you dressed like that? You scared me, huh? No time for that, we'll worry about it later. You need to get out of here before they return. You mean Annabelle? Yeah, that girl's pretty. Come on, I know a quick way out. Wait, what? Follow Mina. Relationship with Mina increased. Relationship with Annabelle increased. I must be grown completely, but I never follow her. Wait, why are you leading me away from here? Listen, I know you don't know why, but being a full rider puts a target on your back. Why? I'm not entirely sure. I'm looking into it. Quick, this way. Mina leads you down several bending hallways until it occurs to you that these halls have go far past the house you had seen. Okay, if you won't explain it that, why do you look so weird? That's pretty offensive, you know. Oh, I just mean, like I said, we'll deal with that later. It is pretty interesting. Anywho, once we get upstairs and go back to your room and forget tonight ever happened, Mina leads you through more tunnels until you feel like you have been walking longer than it took you to get to Annabelle's house. Shouldn't she lead you up to a set of stairs in the pitch darkness and you realize that you're back inside the campus? You look back to find Mina, but she has already disappeared, and soon you return to your room to go to sleep. The events of the last 2 days feel like they have gone by in a blur, and you are back to where you started with the very first class. The night with the party was pretty weird. I need to talk to Mina about it. Just like the last time you were here, it doesn't take too long until the class becomes filled with the noise of students who just arrived from the previous classes. Thank you everyone who was here on time, or early. Sadly, I have some bad news. The universe requires me to talk about an incident that happened sometime last night. Huh? Sometime last night, one of the university's students, James Bright, was found dead. Sadly, there are no suspects at this time, and the police have yet to release any information about his death. While he was not one of my students, his heart goes out to anyone who has been affected. Who would do something like this? A few weeks later. Phew, classes have been rough. I need to study and make sure I don't fall behind. As you enter the library, a tingling chill reverberates down your spine. The hairs on the nape of your neck begin to stand alert. Something sees you. You quickly glance around with a symbol of panic. Your alarmed gaze lands on a transparent form hovering above one of the tables. Something feels familiar about this apparition. None of the other students seem aware of the being's presence. Let's approach Spirit. You inch your way closer towards the spectral visage. Your mind races to understand where you've seen this from. You get within 6 feet of being before it strikes you like a bolt of lightning through your mind. James Wright, the student was found dead 3 weeks ago. I must be seeing things. You stand close to the spirit, but its head stays transfixed upon the distance. It is muttering something, but you cannot make out the words. James Wright, its head turns to you slowly. It brows knit together and questioning look on its face. You can see me? Do you remember how you died? No, I don't remember a lot. I remember somewhere dark. It was night, I think. Maybe in the basement, but past that I can't remember anything. Are you really James? Well, my name is James, and I feel like James, so I believe I am. How are you here? I have no idea. I can't remember much, but I guess ghosts exist now? Can anyone else see you? If they can, they haven't said anything to me, that's for sure. That's all for now. If you have the chance, my room should be empty. My roommate has a class soon, and you should be able to sneak in. You may find something to help piece this all together. And hey, do you mind if I stick with you for now? Sure. Thanks. It's nice having someone to talk to. Relationship with James increased. Charm increased. Your class is about to begin, but this may be the only chance to get into James' room. Let's go investigate James' room. Following James' instructions, you easily find his dorm room. Unfortunately, the door is locked. Thankfully, however, James is able to direct you to a spare key that they keep beneath the potted plants nearby, and you are able to enter the room without any issues. You enter James' dorm room. It seems well lived in, and much of James' things seems to still be here, but all piled onto the 2 beds in the room. You get to work rummaging through James' things. You find a notebook with odd symbols you don't recognize, and a schedule planner with page torn out. Dang, I thought this would help. What are these symbols? Oh, sorry. Not everyone reads, huh? I don't recognize the language, but it says, I surveyed the basement and found nothing out of the norm. I shouldn't come back at night and see if anything changes. Oh, there are several pages here. Let me translate them for you. I heard this place was the home of the powerful people once. I know it's true. I found this odd language below, in the basement, when I was out wandering at night. In the morning, I surveyed the basement and found nothing out of the norm. I should come back at night and see if anything changes. I was right. The basement became a maze of tunnels and ruins, the likes of which I had never seen before. What is this place? I returned before I fell too deep, but if I am caught, this notebook may reveal more than I want to. I will leave it behind next time. I remember now. I went to the basement because it was such a weird space. I must have died down there. Thanks for coming with me, Sam. I couldn't have done anything without you. You missed your class, but it seems there are more things here than ghosts and what you believe to be monsters. The basement seems dangerous. You definitely missed your first class. You will attend a few more classes before you figure out where you go. Investigate basement. Oh well, I don't have a choice. The sun is just beginning to disappear beneath the horizon as you finally reach the stairwell to the basement. The dark expanse below almost darkens as the sun disappears, becoming an abyss. You begin to descend, but you swear the stairs never went this deep before. Soon you arrive at the bottom. I'm going to save. I'll save in another slot. Soon you arrive at the bottom. You reach to find some light switch, but groping in the dark fails to give you the light you need. Instead, you reach into your pocket and withdraw your phone. You notice the phone has no signal down here, but at least your flashlight still works. The light of your phone begins to illuminate the walls around you. Something feels odd. You notice the cracked stone wall is far older than the rest of the school. You stand in the center of an unfamiliar chamber. You use your flashlight to illuminate the stairs behind you, but you are met with only another cracked stone wall. Oh, that's not a good sign. You're about to nod, but a Karen says doing chant fills the air for a brief moment before disappearing. The hairs on the nape of your neck stand at attention as the chant begins one more, but as a low rumbling echo throughout the chamber begins. You snap back to reality and found you have already begun walking through the shadowy stone-cracked walls. You pause and use your flashlight to illuminate the walls of the hallway you have found yourself in. They are set with mosaics depicting a hulking, shadowy behemoth wrapped in chains, with 5 cloaked figures kneeling before it. You jump suddenly as you feel something touch your shoulder. You drop your phone, hearing it hit the floor as you turn to face the figure now illuminating the phone you drop. Massive, flesh clinging to its rib. Your eyes narrow and you let out a panic screech. Whoa, hey there, you alright? Come now, the basement is no place for a student to roam at night. The creature's face contorts to what it must be considered a smile as it bends impossibly long legs to grab your phone. It hands you the phone before taking your hands and leading you through the darkness until you feel your feet touching steps. When you ascend the stairs, you are back at the top of the stairs to the basement. Very good, now go get some rest. This place is dangerous. You confusedly leave, dazed and confused. Your mind is fuzzy. Soon you fall asleep in your bed and let the feeling of shadows suffocating you leave your lungs. A few weeks later, the class is packed by far more students than are present. You have no doubt about it. Today is the midterm. Everyone is frantically studying. Even you are tracing your fingers through the class textbook to glean any additional information you may require. That also at the moment Professor Typhon enters the room. His ever-present stare puts a pause to each of the students. Before long, there are no notes, and the exams are passed out to each student. I hope everyone has been studying. We will be starting your midterm as student class begins. I've got this. Alright, and begin. With the final flourish of your pencil, you are confident that the exam has been completed to the best of your abilities. Glancing around, it appears that most of the class has yet to finish. You look over your answers one more time before rising from your seat and walking to the front of the class and silently handing in your midterm. Professor Typhon looks over it quickly and checks your ID before leaning over. May I speak with you privately, Sam? At first you were taken aback, but then Professor Typhon leads you out of the classroom and closes the door. The space you occupy between the silent classroom and the sparsely populated halls of the university carries the whispering voice of Typhon. I'm worried about you, Sam. Your grades have become abysmal thus far. There's still time to improve. Even so, I am concerned. I expect more from a full writer. Do you have any questions from me? What are you? That require a long discussion, but I'm what humans may call a monster. Obviously, this is not the name we identify with. We spoke about the people who once lived here. They were my people. We came in all shapes and sizes, Sam. But we are no more dangerous than other mortals. Well, most of us. Am I the only one seeing this? I believe so. There is sort of a static between mortals and monsters. When we can see you, but you typically see us as humans as well. We aren't sure why. I have my suspicions, however. Perhaps a defensive mechanism we evolved. I hear you met Dean a few weeks ago. Whatever you were doing down there, I'm sure you may have noted is a dangerous space. Next time you go down there, make sure you are prepared. Now, down to the reason I wanted to speak with you. The dean and I feel it would be beneficial to speak with you this evening. He was muttering about something. In any case, come to the basement after sundown. Trust me, you'll find us more there. Well, he seems nice. Still, are we sure we should go down there? I can just stay a ghost. Don't you want to learn how you died? Yeah, I suppose. I've been enjoying my time with you. I guess I don't want it to end. As Typhon returns to class, you begin to walk away. The rest of your day is uneventful. You complete another midterm and attend a couple classes where the sun begins to set. Let's save again. Let's see. Go to the basement. You find yourself at the edge of the abyss. The darkness of the staircase stares at your soul as you descend it. As you reach the bottom, you feel the air shift. It is stale. Once more, using your phone to light the way, you can make out some of the dark details of the decaying stone walls. Whoa, as creepy as ever. You hesitantly walk down the hallway before you can barely make out the faded works of art that once decorated the walls. Faded pigments, occasionally containing a simple picture. One such fragment depicts a human wrapped in the shadowy flames, wisp being drawn somewhere, and that has now faded. Another fragment depicts an odd skeletal being wearing a crown. The tight hallway finally opens into a circular chamber. The floor is covered in rubble and grime, and parts of the ceiling have collapsed at the edges, halfway blocking one of the room's exits. The room seems relatively bare. You count 5 exits, and the way you came back, creating a circle of 6 intersecting pathways. The first path to your left is half covered by rubble that seems to have been moved sometime recently, creating a space wide enough to squeeze through. The second path to your left seems more pristine than the others. The floor is not covered in grime, and you notice a torn piece of black fabric lying upon the floor. You begin to hear a faint sound of chanting as you approach the path straight ahead, several voices binding to make a haunting echo. The first path on your right has a single set of footsteps reflected in the dust below. The hall is devoid of features, even the walls seem smooth and unhampered by the passing of time. The floor of the second path to the right is scattered with loose pieces of paper. The text they once had has faded, but the occasional alien-looking letter appears alongside the ruined and discarded books that decorate the path floor. Oh, okay, well. First path left. You push your way past the rubble piling up toward near the path entrance, and squeezing into the hallway, the dimly lit path ahead curves, takes sudden sharp turns, dips, and inclines. You've been walking for nearly 10 minutes by the time you reach an old wooden door that barely hangs off one hinge, tilted and resting against the wall. The flickering glow of a torch illuminates a set of shadows in the room beyond the door. One towers above the other, with wicked horns, and both seem to be hushedly whispering in a language that's foreign to your ears. Huh, that's weird. It sounds like they're talking about you, Sam. You press yourself closer to the entryway, but the voices suddenly fall silent, and the shadows shift to your face. Come in, Sam, we've been expecting you. At first you hesitate, you've heard that voice before. Eventually you work up enough courage to take your first steps, and you are met with a vision of 2 monstrous fellows. Ah, Sam, we've been waiting for you. Glad you could make it, Sam. It's a pleasure to meet you properly. I am the Dean of Deep Vale. Please, come have a seat. The massive skeleton-like creature leads you to a desk that is lit by the torches that sit in scones on the wall. He sits down on the opposite side of you and gestures to the seat. I'm sorry to bring you back down here, and scaring you like I did. It was truly rude of me. Please accept my apology. Oh, it's, not a big deal. It's very kind of you, Sam. On the business at hand, I'm sure you're curious as to why I brought you here. Allow me to assuage your fears. I mean you no harm, and neither does my colleague. Please, sire, you mustn't refer to me as... I've told you, Typhon. Please refer me to as Dean. Yes, sire, as you wish. Sigh. Huh? Does Typhon insist on being called Professor? Usually if he gets mad, if you forget to say it. Sam, I have invited you down here for the same reason I invited you to Deep Vale. I apologize, but I cannot elaborate further. What I can say is you have a gift most humans never receive. Dean turns his head up to look at the ghostly figure hovering above you, and it seems another gifted individual has been staying close by. Hello, James. You can see me? The Dean turns his head to look back at you. This is good. I feared he was lost. But I did not call you here to lecture you, at least not with your input. Please, I brought you here so you may ask me whatever you desire. Why do full riders get scholarships? I look for anyone with unique gifts. Those I feel would be beneficial to bridge the divide between our people are brought here. What makes full riders so special? Well, the short answer is that you each possess a unique trait for a human. The long answer is that we know your ancestors and your potential. Why are students obsessed with full riders? The Dean shifts uncomfortably and his game turns on the table. Well, you see, they know your potential and they seek to use it for their own purposes. And really, some full riders do not make it a full year in this palace. I have no more questions. Hopefully, some of this has been illuminating for you. I W you the best of luck, Sam. I believe you may need it. Now come, Typhon, we have some work that must be done. Yes, Dean, my sire. Sigh. You just won't stop calling me that, will you? The Dean and Professor Typhon make their way down the same hallway you came from. Dean crouches under a doorway and looks back to you with with a nod before disappearing into the darkness and leaving you all alone. The torch begins to dim, and you make your way down the same path, once more using your phone to keep the walls illuminated. You return to the circular chamber that splits off in several directions, covered in rubble and grime. The following path remains. The second path to your left seems more pristine than the others. The floor is covered in grime, and you notice a torn piece of fabric on the floor. Yeah, we've read all this. I guess let's go left. The path forward, I probably should go back. Let's save now. Yeah, put that there. Let's go left now. The path forward betrays more signs of use than before. Black fabric scrapes scatter the floor until you see a dim lit light ahead, illuminating the black carpet that lays written at the basement of the hall. As you step further, the carpet becomes more pristine until at last the walls are fully lit by the flickering flame of torches. The hallways take a single sharp turn before arriving in a room filled with cabinets and hooks upon the walls. Several sizes of black robes hang from the hooks and fill the cabinets, each portraying the image of a chain on the space that would cover one's heart. On the other side of the room from you, the wooden door bearing the same symbol. From the other side, you can hear the rumblings of the conversation, too difficult to understand from this distance. God damn it, I'm making a lot of saves here. I guess peek through door. You slowly draw back the door just enough to get a peek. The hinge of the door squeaks as you try to slowly part it. You pause. The shadow of the room dies for a moment before returning. You continue to open the door and you finally make out half a dozen robed figures standing around a mostly barren room with one other exit, a red circle drawn on the floor. Your nervous breaths draw out whatever quickly chatter they speak. Just put on robes. You quickly inspect a few robes until you find one enough to wrap around you. You don the robes and lift up the hood and feel the subtle beat of your heart against the chain symbol. Those robes are giving me the creeps, but they feel so familiar. Let's listen through the door. You lean up the door and cup your hand against the door while you press your ear against it. I told you there is no turning back, Acolyte. I understand. We understand that this is merely a crisis of phase. Rest assured, Sister Annabelle has prepared this proceedings. What of the other three? We only have two. They will be here soon. The great answer will ensure. Of course, Shadow's blessing to you both. Shadow's blessing. A creaky door opens with the room before being closed with a loud click. You can't seem to understand anything else those inside are saying, but you soon hear the door open and shut another 3 times. Peek through the door too. I guess quickly yank the door. You quickly yank on the door to open it just enough. It glides quickly and barely makes a single squeak as you appear in the room. Only 2 figures stand in the room. At its center, both are cloaked in robes and unrecognizable from this angle. I guess we have to enter the room. You take a deep breath before grasping the handle of the sturdy wooden door and pulling it. You step into the room and see 2 robed figures standing and facing one another. They are quickly made aware of your presence, their bodies shifting to face you. Oh, well, there's always one late arrival, isn't there? Yes, there is. What is your name, Acolyte? Sam? What is this? Why, it appears to be one of the chosen, huh? Oh, no. We need to get out of here. Welcome, chosen. I am Brother Blake, and this is Sister Sheila. As they introduce themselves, they pull back their hoods, revealing a visage of a human and a monster. You are the one Sister Annabelle speaks of. Curious. Oh, that is truly intriguing. How can we humble servants be of aid, our chosen? Why do you call me the chosen? Well, is it not true? You are entwined with the destiny we speak, to free the Father by Shadow's blessing. Shadow's blessing. Let's, I guess, save, override this. Are you responsible for James' death? His death was unfortunate, a tragedy, unforeseen. He did die in our care, but how can you call us responsible? We desired for him to meet the fate of the fellow chosen, to meld with the Father, to return whence they came, be united in his form. So no, I wouldn't say we're responsible for his death. Who are you people? Well, we have introduced ourselves, but perhaps you're not familiar. We are speakers of the Father of the Shadows, the Father of humanity, the Father of those cast out. That is who we are. I have nothing further. We must be going, lest we You're in Annabelle's ire. Farewell, chosen. Shadow's blessing. The two rounded, robed figures pull up their hoods and exit the door the same way the others had left. You wait 3 beats before going to inspect the door, but all you find is solid stone. You return to the basement intersection. You return to the circular chamber that splits off in several directions. Yeah, we've read all this. I guess we're just exploring now. Path ahead. You begin to hear a faint sound of chanting as you approach the path straight ahead, several voices binding together to make a haunting echo. As you follow the sounds of chanting, you stalk down the hallway straight ahead from the entrance. You can come 6 feet before the path is covered in a mess of rubble and walls that have collapsed onto each other. The way forward is unnavigable, and you are forced to turn back. It appears to be the same path you've traversed before, and yet has been repaired. After 15 feet, the hallway ends with a massive door standing in your way. Once tiles are all pressed, the door whispers, "Speak to enter." Shadow's blessing. A thud rings out from the door as its locks are disabled and begins to slide apart, separating down its center as it recedes into the walls, grinding against the stone until you arrive at the other end of the door. As you step past, the door begins to rumble once more and closes. You hear a whirring sound behind the door. For a moment, you think it will open, but then 4 clicks ring out and the mirrors return to their original position. Past the puzzling door, you find a short hallway that comes to a sudden right turn. Peeking past the corner, you can make out a massive room of pillars and rubble. On its far end, a hulking behemoth of shadows, bound in chains of light, pulsates beneath, like a beating heart of darkness. At the base of this monstrosity, you make out several humanoid shapes in hidden robes, the source of chanting. Sneakily, let's quick save. Sneakily. You look for the covers as you stalk across the room, hiding behind piles of rubble and the columns that hold the chamber ceiling. You make it 5, 10, 15, 20 feet before you hear their chanting echoes off the wall as the loud rhymes roar. You cover your ears and glance to see that the robed figure is in a semicircle, with 2 robed figures bound upon the floor at its center. The chanting stops as suddenly as a drop off a cliff, and the figure at the heart of the semicircle's edge raises a hand before drawing back their hood. Annabelle. She swivels to look behind her, a smirk fitting smugly upon her face as she looks directly to the pillar you are hiding behind. My, what do we have here? I'm glad you can make it, Sam. Your heart pounds in your chest. The absence of chanting brings a new sound. A dark hum from the hulking monstrosity at the end of the chamber. It almost sounds recognizable. It's calling to us. How the hell is it calling to us? No need to be afraid, Sam. You're among friends now. It's so sad that you left the party so fast. You really delayed our plans, you know. I know you can hear it, Sam. You pause. You hadn't even noticed it before, but your entire body is swaying towards the open, unwillingly pushing you towards them. Why are you doing this? Isn't it obvious, Sam? It's our destiny. One you have run from too long. The entire room rumbles as the hulking shadow grows, straining against the chains. Dust and rubble fall from across the room, bringing a grill to Annabelle's face. Not alone, are you, Sam? Huh? Sam, I'm not feeling too good. You glance over your shoulder and see James. The transparent image has begun a black pit where his heart would not be. James, are you okay? You brought him back to us. Thank you, Sam. Now he can become one, just as you will. Without warning, the room begins to shift. You dodge to the side as pieces of rubble whiz past you and merge with the walls and ceiling. The entire room reformatting as if it's rewinding through time. Even Annabelle looks surprised as she covers her eye to avoid the flying rubble. The rest of the robed figures crouching until the room finally settles as it reappears brand new. Behind you, standing in the entryway of the room, are Mina and Lila. Ha, that was awesome. Who are these people? Definitely not the best hiders in the world. What's the meaning of this? Annabelle first fist clenched as 2 figures from the semicircle begin to approach the 2 new arrivals of the room. She reaches into her robe and withdraws the same dark tome you saw before, opening it and facing the intruders. You again, Mina, you need to learn your place. Swiping her hands across the page of the tome, suddenly a shadow lash whips out and wraps around Mina, binding her and pulling her across the room towards Annabelle while the robed figures approach Lila and drop their hoods. The hooded figures are Blake and Sheila. Let's charge Annabelle. While Annabelle is drinking it, you feel your limbs begin to move on their own. Without even thinking, you run full body and tackle Annabelle, knocking the book from her hands, then sending you both stumbling across the floor. You scramble to stand, but you feel it hits against your ribs in a cracking sound. You crumple in on yourself as Annabelle runs with you. Your eyes go blurry and fill with tears, but you can make the shape of meaning by holding the shadowy tomb. I didn't want it to come to this, but it looks like I don't have an option. No, I won't let you. With the last of your strength, you reach out and grab a hold of Annabelle's leg, stopping her approach. She looks back and snarls, stopping her foot against you, but your grip only tightens. Before Annabelle can reach Mina, it is too late. Mina has begun reading an unrecognizable series of syllables, dark pulsating around her, and the room once more shaking. No, you're ruining everything. Annabelle glares at you as the last few syllables echo, the semicircle of people beginning to stand. Her eyes are haunted and far sadder than you remember them. Last syllable echoes out, and the hulking shadow begins to rise, pulling the chains and causing the room to rumble and cave in until the pillars and cracks are under the pressure. What have you done? It raises once more, the chains holding, but a sudden crack sneaking across the room. Minnie closes her eyes tightly as the ceiling comes crashing down upon you all. In the final moments, you can see Lily being overpowered by two robed figures who approach her, her arms bound and useless as a rock crashes down on the three of them. You lose consciousness as a large ceiling tile descends from above you. The disappearance of several students and school officials is masked by a news report of earthquake at Deep Valley University. Several of the school buildings collapsed overnight and buried much of the school. Many died in the trench of it, but the shadows were buried, to hopefully never be seen again. Game over. What the fuck? What the actual fuck did I just play? There were some characters I didn't even see. I didn't even know some of these characters. They just introduced them. That was, I mean, it was intentionally made to be weird, but like, it was bad at being, a story. I'm like, what the hell? I'm gonna rate that a 2 out of 10, but if I wanted to rate it on creativity, I'd give it like a 10 out of 10, but as a game, as an actual game that you want to play, it's a 2 out of 10, because I didn't come here to do reading. If I wanted to do reading, I'd read a book. I came here to play a game, not read, so 2 out of 10, yeah.